Looking for stories that are fresh and new? Dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, cyberpunk, alternate history, and more. They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology. From 24 award-winning authors and illustrators, plus art and writing tips and bonus stories. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Buy your copy at galaxypress.com, Amazon, or wherever books are sold.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Into the Night with Shawn Kelly. How is everybody doing today? I'm doing okay. If everybody can just go to Facebook to the Pittsburgh Paranormal Society page. You know, you can come in and sign in and enjoy the show. And if you want to, come into the chat. I'm doing okay. It's been like a rough week, but you know what? I managed to get through it. I'm really looking forward to hopefully when this weather starts getting a little bit more cooler. So I can be able to breathe up in the attic. That's where my office is at. But I have an interesting thing to tell you what happened to me last week. Now, last week, you know, as I have been expressing my thing, what's going on in the world today. And what happened was about 2:30 in the morning, my brother runs down the steps and he runs outside, okay? Because he has this app where it tells you where the police are around your house, okay? And there were 4 of them around my house last night. They were all pointing that toward me, you know? Kind of creeped me out, man. Kind of freaked me out because, you know, as you know, I do speak my mind every now and then. But do I think it's going to deter me from what I want to say? No, it's not. But I just wanted to tell you that the crazy thing. So my brother said, you know, after your show tonight, that he's going to check out and see if the police are around the house or not. Well, back to Into the Night, we are on UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 New Orleans, 107.7 Mississippi. You can catch the show on the Pittsburgh Paranormal Society. You can catch it on the Pittsburgh Paranormal Society YouTube channel. And also, we're on Roku. So, you know, so we're out there, you know. But I don't know, how was everybody's week? I hope you all had a good week. You know, if you want to pop into the chat room and talk about it, stop on in and say hello. Feel free to. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them, and then we can go from there. But, you know, my guest tonight, it's going to be a great show because my guest is like one of the best. He's a really good friend of mine. And I met him through paranormal investigating around the Pittsburgh area, and we've done a couple investigations together, his group and my group. And he's very knowledgeable. He's a lot into the technical part of things that go on into an investigation. He's like equipment dude, you know. He knows his stuff. But he's also a very good friend of mine. And I want to give you Eric from the Phantom Hounds Paranormal Group out of Beaver, Pennsylvania.
Hello.
Hey, Eric. Good morning. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. How are you? What's going on? What's happening in the paranormal field down in Beaver, Pennsylvania?
Just trying to find places to go and investigations to line up. It's been kind of a boring summer. Only did a couple things.
Before we go on, Sebastian, things are doing really well. Thank you for stopping in and saying hello. Sebastian meet Eric, Eric Sebastian. Sebastian's like my number one like fan, you know. So, but so you know what? It's funny that you said that because back when I started in 2006, okay, I mean, investigations were like you can do many as you want. People wanted their places to be investigated. There are a lot of um, places like cemeteries, other different places like that, that you had no problem getting into. But now, and it's not just you, it's a couple other people that they are having a hard time finding places to investigate. And it just either, you know, I'm looking at it as because the world's changing or paranormal investigating isn't like it used to be a long time ago. Um, so, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I do think the world has definitely changed in the last few years. We're still trying to get back to what's considered normal. Uh, was at a rock concert earlier this month, and that was one of the things the lead singer talked about. Is it's nice seeing no one here in masks, no one here social distancing. We're back to being able to just have a good time. I said
Mm-hmm.
I, we're so close to being back to how it was before. But with paranormal investigating, it what I've seen at least, it's become somewhat cost prohibitive if unless you have a very large group. And that presents its own challenge because you could reach out to a bunch of people and say, "Hey, I booked this place, 3 months from now. You've always wanted to check it out. You've always wanted to do this. Are you interested?" And they can say, "Yeah." In April, come July, when the check is due, things come up, and you end up with half the people that said they would go, and you have to foot the entire bill. Um, and then when it comes to like cemeteries, I feel like that I think I've been seeing photo shoots in cemeteries, and I don't understand it.
Photo shoots? You mean people actually taking pictures of other people?
Yeah, in
Okay.
cemetery, and I don't understand it. It's one of those things where I feel it's unless you have the express consent of the people whose tombstones, headstones, gravestones, whatever word you want to use, around it, like their family, I feel it's disrespectful.
No, I agree with you right there. But there are a lot of ways that you can get away with that too. Instead of like doing the photograph of the tombstone itself, you can actually take the picture from behind where there's no names on that tombstone. You know what I mean?
True, but a lot of them, at least in this area, they're not as linear, and sometimes they're facing different directions. It was just something I saw in my feed that kind of like I don't know, it just irked me. I don't want someone trying to score fake internet points with my loved one's grave markers in the background.
Okay, okay, I see what you're talking about there, and I kind of like agree with you too because think about it, right? Cemeteries are sacred ground, right? It is the resting place of the people who have passed. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And it's just like me if I went into that photographer's house and I started to pose and then taking pictures of all the important things that he has in his house. You know what I mean? But I don't see how the investigating today is not like it was when we first started. Okay. Um, the
kind of.
egos are the egos are still there.
As it's kind of the same problem. They're trying to get. They're not at, at my investigation. That I just did. One of my cohorts said, "Yeah, just show anything you got to him, and he'll shit all over it because
Hmm.
that's what." And he meant it as I'm going to debunk it until I can't.
Right.
I'm not just going to have something that's ambiguous and be like, oh, it's this, this, and this. I know 100%. And
Right.
then look what I found. I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
there's
and
not enough people that just want to know. And then the recognition is secondary.
that always like kind of like bothered me, especially when I would show a picture or a video to somebody that wasn't even on our investigation, and that they had the balls to come up and tell me that's nothing. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm good for a good debunking. Now, you know, being up there in the years, I do debunk other pictures. You know what I mean? If it's like, and I've always had this rule whenever I would go out, and if I think I got a nice piece of evidence on video or in pictures, okay, I would put it out on the internet. Okay. Well, I did have a couple good ones at one time. And you know what? The response I got back, oh my God, Eric, it was insane. I mean, it got to the point where I thought they were going to come over and lynch me. You know what I mean? Um, how can you put that fake stuff up, or how can you do this? How can you do that? And I'm thinking, how the hell can you say that to me when you weren't there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. It just seems to me that um, it isn't as fun as it used to be.
No, I would agree.
Hmm. A lot
I
of
still,
people. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I still enjoy doing it.
Hmm.
But besides the cost, it definitely isn't the same.
Right. For me, I grew out of it. To be honest with you, I retired, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And but every now and then I'll help somebody out on it, with an investigation, a group, or someone gives me a call and asks me, "Well, this is happening in my house." What I usually do is point them in the direction of another paranormal group. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So, but do I miss it? Yes, I do. Do I miss the aggravation of going on one and getting one, set up and all that? I don't miss that at all, my friend. Um, it just gave me a lot of headaches. And like you said before, you're getting so many people saying that you're going to be able to go and do this because you wanted to do that. And whenever the time came up, they wouldn't go. You know what I mean? And you're stuck going to this big place. And it's like, wow. Um, so what do I do now? And there was a lot of times I investigated the place myself, but I still had to put up the finder's fee, or the fee to get into investigating it. So
Yeah.
instead of paying $50, I ended up paying 250.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I really believe I'm the type of person that if you make a reservation or if you made a deal in order to go someplace, right? Okay. Um, I stick to that. You know what I mean? I just Um, I'm not rude when it comes down to that. The thing is, because it isn't fair to the people who were investigating, because there could have been another group that could have filled into that slot. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So no matter what, no matter how hard I tried, um, it just got to the point where um, I just didn't want to do it no more. It wasn't fun for me. Okay. Um, I mean, when I was like 40 some years old when I started it, and I had no problem going to bed, going on an investigation till 2 in the morning, and then going home at 3 in the morning, at three and like 3 or 4 a.m. and going to work. But dude, I'm 61. And it just like really, I just can't do it no more. Well, yeah. Hey, Robert, welcome. Robert says, "Hey guys, can I use my phone?" This is you, Eric. "Hey guys, can I use my phone to investigate the paranormal? Don't have the money for good equipment. And what are your thoughts on Randonautica?" Never heard that word.
I've not heard of that either. I'm gonna look that up. It, you, the way they make cell phones now, yeah, that's it's a great device to use.
Well, see, I have a hard time, with the cell phone itself. I mean, I looked at the different apps, and it was, hey, Brandon, good to see you, buddy. Thank you for dropping in. Um, but personally, me with a phone, the only good thing that I would use a phone for is like an EVP session where I'd use a tape recorder in order to do an EVP session. When it comes to the other apps, not really. Um, Not really big into it. I've seen some apps out there that people like, swear on you. Hey, Amanda, good to see you. Hi, Ann. Good to see you. Brandon's good people. Amanda's good people. But for me, using the phone, it's just not out. I just can't think of it.
It's not even just the apps. It's you can download a recorder. You can take the way the cameras are set up on there. You can do all kind of different things with it. So it's definitely a good starting point.
Robert says, Robert came back and said, Randonautica is an app on mobile phones. Been interested in the paranormal since I was a kid. Caught a few things myself. Oh,
It's
awesome.
when I looked it up. It says that it's a first quantumly generated reality game. Explore the world you never knew existed with Randonautica.
Do you think maybe it's something there that we got to try out, dude? He's busy reading, but um,
I'm gonna go with what I say when someone asks if I want to investigate their house. New and it's free. It's worth a shot.
right. But sometimes they're, the big places like Eastern Penitentiary. You know, um, I don't know what the going rate is up in Newcastle. What's the name of that place, dude? We
Hillview
talked.
Man.
Yeah, Hillview Manor. Um,
I
and
don't.
now that we came upon Hillview Manor, and I know you worked there before, and you've investigated a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, Hillview Manor in Pennsylvania is up around in Newcastle, PA, and it's very, very, very haunted.
Yes.
A lot of people go up there, a lot of groups go up there for investigations, all night investigations. And like I said, my friend Eric here, he actually worked up there and investigated there. So, um, Eric, can you give us a little background and some of the stuff that you caught up there?
I won't give background on the building or anything because that's all part of their tour, and I don't want to give any of that away.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as stuff that I've personally caught or been a part of, shadow figures, a lot of orbs. Um, there's a room where a woman has a bunch of costume jewelry. Spirit of woman has costume jewelry. I've seen the costume jewelry move. Gotten ectoplasm on pictures. Um, done the Estes method, where one of my cohorts couldn't see, couldn't hear. He's a medium. He was trying to channel the spirit, and he couldn't hear me. I said to the spirit, she has, she had OCD. I said, if you're able to do something that we can see, hear, whatever, I'll bring you up this hand sanitizer spray that I bought. You just rub it on, like you spray it on your hands and then you rub your hands. as soon as I finished that sentence, he says, "I'm picturing her rubbing her hands together." He couldn't hear me, and this is on a live feed, so it's not something where I was giving him cues or anything.
Okay. I have a problem with that method, dude. Really do. Especially when I see it on TV.
Well, TV is different.
Well, understandable. I understand, but I've actually seen you do it, and I was impressed with it. But what really blows me away that people like live and die by uh, the TV paranormal shows, right?
Yes.
And so, who's not to say? I mean, sure, you can put a blindfold on, you can put the thing on, what you're talking about, and then I need to hear what is on that EVP that they are repeating back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I did a live feed a few months ago, and I had white noise playing as loud as it could be, and something like something loud enough to be over the like a loud crash happened down the hall from where I was,
Mm-hmm.
to where I could overhear it, and I jumped, pulled it off. I go, "What was that?" And the people that were with me were already walking toward the sound, and we were the only ones in the building.
Oh wow!
So it was they said it sounded like a door slamming, but all the doors were open.
What floor was that on?
That was on the second floor.
Isn't that like the most haunted floor there? Or I mean, you got to give my people some tips here, dude. Like, I know the boiler room. There's a dude down there that likes the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know that. Um, there's about
He's going to be in for a surprise tomorrow
why?
because he loves the Steelers but hates the Browns.
Okay.
When I was there last, I had one of the staff members take him a Steelers car that I made. Well, I made a Browns car, and he's going to find out tomorrow. I'm not.
Okay.
That's my little secret for George.
Okay. Is that George? Can you explain a little bit about George?
He was a handyman. He had the full run of the building. So he, if this gets me in trouble, I'm blaming you.
All right.
My first trip there, 12 years ago. Wow, I'm old. Me and my friends were in the basement doing yes/no sessions with K2s. And one friend is, she's very gifted in a particular area, but not so gifted in another area. And I asked George what his preference was, and it was not the area she was gifted in.
Mm-hmm.
So he will touch women on their behinds, and he does love blonde.
Loves what?
Blonde women.
Blonde women, huh?
So he's a playful, joyful type guy.
Okay. Now I also heard about the little boy up on the third floor.
Second.
Is it the second floor?
Yeah.
Would you care to share a story about him?
First time using a Squatch Man. Sorry,
Yeah,
reading it.
he's my friend.
First time using a spirit box. We asked how old, and we got 10 through the spirit box. Was in there another time using a motion activated device, and it kept going off on another live feed. And then one time we saw a balloon kind of moving in a direction. I'm not sure. There's no wind. There wasn't any wind, and we weren't moving to make it move, but it still kind of moved gingerly to where I wasn't 100% convinced.
Mm-hmm. See, I the spirit box. I was on the fence with that for the longest time. But when I had PPS, Jason would come along and run the spirit box, right?
Yeah.
And I was always made sure that I was in the same room as he was. Okay. And I was surprised at the answers that we got, you know. And they were like so legit, so legit. And then I just went off the fence and I really started to like the spirit box. The only problem I have with the spirit box is it makes a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Okay. It makes a ton of noise. And so to me, if I were to put headphones on my ears and blindfold and have to listen to that crap all the time, man, I know I'd be like going to Western Psych or something like that. You know what I mean? Because that just is just too noisy. You know what I mean? And
I don't use the spirit box when I have the headphones on. I just have a white noise app.
now I think the last time that we investigated, I forget where it was, but did you not talk about instead of white noise, there's brown noise and green noise?
Pink noise.
Pink noise. Can you explain that to my people, please?
I honestly don't know the difference other than it's just the frequency.
Is that it? Just the frequency? Is it higher, lower, what?
It's just different. I admit to being tone deaf, so I'm not 100%.
Okay.
But
Well,
I preferred the pink noise. So however my ear canals are designed, the pink noise gave me the least amount of a headache.
right. Okay. Um, I got this app where I download where I listen to noise and they got green noise on it, right? And it
Mm-hmm.
seems like it's a lower, like kind of like megahertz or whatever you want to call them. But think about it, right? So there are what different, you know, you got different planes out there in the spirit world, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you also got different hertzes of different sounds. Do you know what I mean? So say like white noise is like the third level out there, right? And then green could be the second, level.
Mm-hmm.
To where you know as well as I do that, the spirit who's on 3 does not know that the spirit on 2 is there in that same room.
And just like we don't necessarily know that either of them are there.
Right, exactly. But do you think maybe the spirit on number 3, where the white noise is, can't hear the green noise, but the dude on the second level can hear it?
I don't know. I've not looked into it that far. That's actually fascinating to think about. I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking comparing it when people take like dogs on investigations, like a dog whistle, we can't hear it, but they can.
Right.
So I've taken my dog a few times. I've never encountered him sensing anything, but my
Mm-hmm.
sister's taken him off on her own, and she said there's certain places that have spooked him when I wasn't there, but I've not been able to repeat that. And right now
Squatch
he
calls it the third eye. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
calls it the what?
The third eye.
Oh, the third eye.
Hmm. Okay. Thanks, Squatch man. Um, Now, when Russ and Jam were in the group, they brought along Prudence, their bloodhound, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we went up to the Hotel Conneaut, right? We did an investigation up there. She would not go on the dance floor at all. Would not go on the dance floor or the ballroom
Mm-hmm.
on the first floor. Would not go there. Then we went through. I don't know what floor it was, second or third, but this one room that we walked by, it was open. Okay. she would not step into that room. And from what the guide told us, the lady up there, um, she said something really bad happened in that room. There was a lot of negative energy in that room. So yes, I mean, dogs are very, very sensitive, especially and cats. Man, too bad you can't bring a cat along on an investigation. Think about it, right? Cats are the best. I'm telling you. When I was at my ex girlfriend's house, she had a little cat called Inky, and so one day we're sitting in her living room, and all of a sudden, no lie, the cat goes, Inky goes like that. And it was just like, oh, and nobody was there. You know what I mean? And then he would look in the mirror, in the corners all the time. But yeah, think about it. You have a cat, right?
No,
No,
I'm allergic to cats.
no, same here. But if you know anybody that has a cat, bring them along on your investigation and see what happens. That would be like so cool. You know what I mean? Um, just to see how they go. And I know dogs are good, but what about other animals? What do you think of that?
I investigated a house that had pet pigs inside, and they never seemed to notice anything. So pigs would probably be.
Pet pigs?
They had living in the house. Yes,
Oh my God. Are they like the little oinkers or the big oinkers?
they were big. They
Okay.
like they kept them in the garage while we were there, but they they were allowed in the house.
Ah, not me, man. I couldn't have a pig in the house. I mean, I couldn't even. I don't know. I don't know. I guess because I've been cutting meat for 24 years. You know what I mean? I just see the other different part of the pig and the cows and stuff like that. But I have did some studying on, and I've read up on some studies where horses are very, very good um, picking up paranormal things. And I'll give you a story behind that. I was up in Gettysburg, and we were at Artillery Ridge RV place. Okay. And what happened was, one time we were up there. Now, Artillery Ridge is where, if you own a horse, you can go there and you can like keep the horse there. You know what I mean? And they have all kinds of stables and all kinds of stuff like that. So one night, honest to God, about 2 o'clock in the morning, and this is a true story. I am not bullshitting anybody on this. But all of a sudden, me and the other person that was up there, um, we heard all the real horses going crazy, dude. You know what I mean? You know how they go crazy and start bucking and making the wee, them types of noises and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're like, holy shit, what's going on? And honest to God, dude, and as God is my witness, we actually heard a stampede of horses right next to our RV. No, seriously. And it was like, wow. It was wow. It was like, holy crap. Could it have been a ghost cavalry people walking, run, the horses running through the RV park? Of course it could be. You know what I mean? I have no doubt in my mind. Look how horses get spooked really easy. You know what I mean? But to hear the horses of the cavalry charge going through the RV park was like really, really cool. And what Squad says. Squat's man says, look outside for a bunch of crows. If there's heavy activity in a dwelling, there will be crows or cats. Well, I'll tell you what, there must be something going around my house here, Squat's man, because every morning there's about 30 of them outside my house making a lot of noise. I'm not lying. I mean, it's been like this for the past week. But
Crows
another,
or
what's that?
crows or cats?
Crows.
Okay.
Crows. We only got one feral cat here. We used to have like 10 of them, but we only got one. But another story I'd like to tell you about the RV park. I remember the first time that we went up there. It was at night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was laying down. I was sleeping, and all of a sudden, I heard like raindrops, right, hitting the
Yeah.
RV. Okay, and I'm thinking, it must be raining. And so I opened up the door to look outside and let their dog out, and it wasn't raining. So I brought the dog back in, and then we went down. We went back to sleep, and all of a sudden we heard that tinking noise again, right?
Yeah.
So I really seriously listened to where it was hitting. It wasn't hitting on top of the roof, dude. It was hitting the side of the RV. No lie. It was like we were being shot at from one of the either Confederates or the Union Army. And that is a true, true story. You could just hear the pings off the side of the RV, all at this artillery ridge RV park. It was cool. We had some good times up there. Now we have investigated Gettysburg before, you and me. Do you have any stories you'd like to share to my guests and my people who listen?
And just my first time at Sachs Bridge, felt I I felt the strongest sensation that I was like I was talking to a Confederate soldier,
Mm-hmm.
and that it was very strange. But I'm actually going to be going there in a couple weeks.
Oh, really?
I'm
Cool.
gonna try. I've heard a lot about Sachs Bridge is nice. I do recommend that for people that haven't been there. Um, that warehouse we went to was fantastic. I wish I could have stayed longer. But I'm gonna try the Eisenhower Bridge
The
this time.
Suicide Bridge?
Yeah.
That's crazy there, dude. That's crazy. I was there a couple years ago, and I'm telling you what, I got the heebie-jeebies on that bridge. And whenever I get the heebie-jeebies on something or on that, then you know that it's pretty intense. Um, it's a coal bridge. It's a wooden bridge, um, but a lot of people go to it, and it's not so much. The real name is considered the Eisenhower Bridge, but um, people call it the Suicide Bridge, and that's what it's well known for. And there's a lot of activity that goes on in there. A lot of people set up their equipment on the bridge. They also, you know, use their K2s and EVPs. And I tell you what, we were up there one time, and someone was using a REM pod, and it was really hitting off the REM pod, which was amazing.
I'll keep that in mind. We just got a REM pod. Oh, what did we get in our arsenal? A REM
Yeah,
pod,
yeah.
a vibration sensor, and this new thing that I'm going to be trying tomorrow night as well. It's brand new. Um, I don't know how old the average audience member is, or if they'll remember this, but an old battery operated camping TV that has a built in radio.
Oh, wow.
Used
Okay.
one at Townsville. We were in the Sugar Shack. Static, 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 static. It's analog, so it's not picking up TV stations. It was the TV part, so it wasn't picking up radio stations. There was no frequency being scanned. And we got what sounded like a very clear voice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall that it seemed like it said anything. I was just extremely happy that the experiment worked.
Okay.
So I'm going to be trying that again tomorrow night. Another thing about those TVs, because we tested it, they put out a lot of EMF. You got EMF, you got a trigger object, because it's a television, that people that spirits that lived through the 60s, 70s, 80s would be familiar with. And then you got the white noise. If you have the antenna, they can also touch the antenna and change what's showing on the picture.
Did you bring the rabbit ears? Maybe you should bring rabbit ears, dude.
Now you're making me feel old because I know what those are. And then I'm going to have a container of aluminum foil, and I'm going to be doing all the YMCA poses trying to get in KDKA or something.
Everybody out there, I hope my listeners who are listening or watching rabbit ears, what Eric is talking about is that it is a black and white TV, right? Old black and white.
Yes.
Okay. He has an old black and white TV, and he took it down to West Virginia Penitentiary down there, and he set it up in the Sugar Shack, which was a place where a lot of bad things happened down there. I'll get Eric later on to describe what the Sugar Shack's all about.
But the original was Danny's idea, not mine.
Well, still,
Credit
but you're sharing it with us. So now all we got to do is, he said he got some, they did an experiment down there and they picked something up. But back then, okay, the prisoners were old, all right? I mean, they weren't no young people back then, and they remember the black and white TV with the rabbit ears antenna. And oh my God, I think that would be such a trigger object right there. Just the antenna alone, not the TV.
I gotta find some rabbit ears.
What's
like
that?
I have one. Now you're making me gotta find rabbit ears. I have one that was for that digital conversion.
Right.
But I don't. It looks very different.
No, you need the original rabbit ears, dude. Just go to an antique store and go get one, or go to a. I'm sure somebody has one. Think about it, right? I know as a child, the rabbit ears were the big thing for me. Honestly, that's seriously, and only getting channel 2, not 4 or 11 or 53. But I think that would be a pretty interesting idea. Now, since we're talking about this, I did say at the beginning of the show that you're really big into the equipment. What does your group use, and can you explain how each piece of equipment works?
I'll work backwards from the highest tech. We have thermal imaging cameras that can take picture and video. One of them even does audio. We have an SLS camera, which is a Microsoft component attached to a tablet where it's used for video. It was originally used for video gaming, where it sends out lasers that you can't see, and it uses it to map and track people. And what the story that I heard, that how it started, was there was a guy whose kids were playing with it. He had 2 kids, but there were 3 figures on the screen. So you can actually use it with a tablet. They make rigs for it. We've had a lot of good stuff with it. At Moundsville, actually, we saw where we're in the X-ray room, and it showed a figure standing by the X-ray bed and a figure laying on the bed. So it tracked all of that. Unfortunately, nobody was recording because I was really interested in seeing that. I wasn't there. Then night vision cameras, which pick up infrared, full spectrum cameras, which pick up ultraviolet. Then you get down to just regular cameras. You have digital recorders. Some are very high tech to where if I had a headset on while I was recording, I could hear like the trains a mile from my house, like just the grinding of them. Not quite a mile, but it's very faint. The first time I used them, there was a person walking on the other side of a basketball court in their bare feet quietly, and I could pick it up like they were walking next to me.
Mm-hmm.
EMF meters, they measure EMF frequency in the air, which is theorized to be the presence of a spirit. EM pumps put EMF into the air that spirits can use to manifest. Motion detectors that are just fancy cat toys, just a little ball.
I like those.
They're low tech. Dowsing rods, another low tech thing where spirits can move them, manipulate them. And then 2 years ago, I started using a compass.
A helmet?
A compass.
Oh, compass. Okay.
Because it goes off the magnetic field of the Earth. Well, if you're in a location and it starts spinning on its own and you're not holding a magnet, something's manipulated.
Right. Okay. So, have you ever used that magnet, whatever, compass? And did you ever have anybody start filming or shooting pictures at that while it was going on?
Not had it go off yet. The problem with a lot of the investigations are they're at night and you can't see it.
Oh, you can't have a light on it?
I keep forgetting.
Okay.
I haven't done a lot of investigating this year, and I keep forgetting. Because also being an idiot, I'm more focused on my high-tech toys.
Don't call yourself an idiot, dude. You just going high end. You need to get somebody who wants to do the low end stuff, the easy stuff. I don't know. My personal opinion on high tech equipment, um, I say, and this is my own personal opinion, I believe people don't need to use it. And the reason why I say that is because with using all that stuff, that's a good question. I want to ask you, right? Using all that high tech equipment, what is your final goal out of using all that equipment? What do you want to find?
It's mostly for documentation.
Okay.
There's times where I put it all away and just go off a feel.
Okay. So you're saying now the high tech is a hell of a lot better than you would use a K2 meter?
No, it's personal preference.
Okay. All right. But when it came down, say like it wasn't personal with you, that you had either the opportunity to use the high tech stuff or K2, which way would you go?
It's cheating because I have a high tech K2.
They got a high tech K2?
I have an EMF meter that has 12 sensors as opposed to just two. It also has a built-in flashlight. It takes ambient air temperature. It has a digital number for how much EMF, and it has a light and it has an alarm. So it's a bunch of tools built into one.
Did you make it?
No.
You sure?
I wish I had that engineering skill. My building is more die cast.
Die cast. Okay, I want to get into that after our commercial break at 9 o'clock. I figure I get all the paranormal stuff in first before we get into what you're. And ladies and gentlemen, his hobby is so cool. It really is. But yeah, so to me, I'd rather not have the high tech stuff. I did come to find out that some things can be manipulated to be turned on. I will explain that to you after the show. I don't want to, I mean, I'm on the shit list, everybody, for the way when I speak out about how I feel. But I don't want to, spoil the paranormal feel. So I'll tell you after the show or tomorrow, something like that.
As I say, depending on who I'm talking to, I can be turned on through manipulation.
You can? Oh, dude, you're killing me, man. You're killing me. So, how many people you got in your group?
There's four of us leaders, like four lead investigators, and then just probably another dozen that kind of do some stuff, kind of don't do all the investigations. It is I complain about trying to have a bunch of people for a thing, but it is difficult. Life
Mm-hmm.
does get, there's people with kids, there's people with other responsibilities, you can't get the day off work. There's all kind of things that can prevent it.
So, okay, I call you up. How do you go by doing your, when someone, do you go to hospice?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we
I
do.
called you up because I think I have a ghost. Can you tell my people out there in UPRNville and New Orleans and all over the world, how would you go by? I call, hey, Eric, I have a ghost. What would you do from there?
I would just ask for an address and a day and time I can come out, and then ask nothing else.
Okay. Do you interview the person
After,
after? Okay.
I
Uh,
like to
do,
go in. I like to go in cold, and just kind of get a sense for things. If I'm not picking anything up, I ask that. Then I would say, okay, what has happened and where has it happened?
right. Okay. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with doing that. You know what I mean? Usually people tell me what's going on in their house, and and I was like you because I wanted to go in cold all the time. I didn't really want to know, what was happening. But at a lot of the cases that we did, um, we had no choice, but they told us what was happening. You know,
Yeah, and I wouldn't
um,
stop someone. And the nice thing about being in a group is if I want to go in cold, I can go in cold, and they can tell the other person.
right? That's true. That's true. And I had a one rule in my group was to the other investigators was if you pick up on something, if you think what's going on, like you feel something different in the air during the investigation, do not go and tell the clients. You come to me and we'll sit down and we'll talk about it and we can go from there. That was like a real major rule for me in my group, you know. Um, so say like you come to my house, there's a ghost, see a ghost, it's a bad ghost, and I tell you that I want to get it evicted from my house. What do you tell your people? How do you go by telling me what to do? What do you do? Is there anything that in somebody in your group that can help get rid of the bad spirit?
We do have a medium in our group. I won't speak to his comfort level with doing that because he hasn't shared that with me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, as far as what I personally would do or have done, salt is good. Put salt around the outside of the house. Sage in the corners is something I've suggested for other people. Um, and this doesn't always work. It takes a certain personality to do it. I've had a few things come home with me. I just tell them to leave. I'm not polite about it. The one that came home with me, it wasn't even mean. It was just trying to keep me from sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, you don't pay rent, you don't do any chores, you need to leave.
Right.
And I left.
So you had to put your foot down, huh?
I was less polite about it.
Okay. Jenny down there. Hey, Jenny, good to see you. Jenny is not having no cold time with the ghost on, I think, OC Ocean City. I saw some of the stuff, Jenny, that you posted up there on TikTok. That was pretty creepy. I was like impressed with the stuff that I saw on the video on TikTok. Are they bad ghosts, Jenny? Are they hurting you, or what's going on? Doors opening, being poked. It's really scary. That's not cool, Jen. You just got to, honestly, Jen, what you need to do is put your foot down and say, hey, do not do that. Don't touch me. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, but you have to mean it. Like you can't just say it and still be. You have to mean it. It has to be firm. I've been poked and touched a little bit. The only time where it bothered me was at a jail in Ohio. I got poked in the chest. I didn't care for that.
Mm-hmm.
It was in a cell where a woman had set herself on fire.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. She tried committing suicide, so they arrested her. And while she was in there, she set herself on fire. But when I got poked in the chest, I didn't care for that. I downloaded a fireplace app and turned it up full blast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Jenny's come back and says, bam, it's real scary because they are poking us, turning off TVs, like store shutting, all the mechanical things don't work. Everything is pretty damn scary and creepy. Is there any way you can find another place to stay down there, Jenny? I mean, I don't know when you're coming home. Oh, Jenny Nicasio, she was my co-host with me on Chasing Prophecy.
Okay.
So, oh, hold on. She got another thing up. The lights come on and off. None of the appliances work right. Fans turning on and off. Have you spoken to the people who run it? Missing personal stuff. Huh. That's not good. Did you contact the person who owns the house, Jen, and ask them what's going on? I would. I'd get my money back if I was you. I mean,
And I'm not discounting. We know I debunk. That sounds like, other than the missing personal stuff and being poked, that sounds like really bad wiring.
could be. Could be. Hold on a second. She says, I went to a psychic on the boardwalk and I asked her about the building. And she asked me what was the condo's name. And she said, oh, yeah, people can't even stay there. It's been going on for about a year and a half. Apparently, the owners are keeping whatever happened quiet. Damn, Jenny, honest to God, I would get my money back somehow, and I would just come home. I don't know when you're coming back to Pittsburgh, but I would find another place. I'd go to a hotel room. I mean, if you're saying, because I did see what was going on your video on the TikTok, but that's not cool when you're being poked, and to me, you could probably say it's poltergeist. Or honest to God, Eric, I saw our video on TikTok, right? And they were asking questions, and the overhead light right in the room would blink off and on and answer whatever question they asked. They would blink and answer the questions that they were saying. Hold on, she got something here. Okay. Exactly what she said, but we're trying to get our money back for all the appliances don't work. But to tell you the truth, it is so hard to pack everything up and leave, and we're staying until Saturday. Oh wow. Oh my gosh. I do hope you get your money back. I honestly would. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd be raising hell. If you need any ghost investigators to back you up, Jen, me and Eric will back you up on this. All right, we got your back. But no, that ain't cool at all. And
No.
but see, what I'd like to do is try to figure out, what happened in the house. What was all the happenings going on? Was there like some nuts a year and a half ago doing a Ouija board type of thing, or was somebody doing some black magic or something like that, in order to keep the spirits here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that people can do to try to figure out what is happening, or do their research on the place. She said, I was trying to find any research on the condo. It's called Shark Fin Condos in Ocean City. I have the address and everything, but I can't seem to find anything. Did you know what? If you can, if you're still there, why don't you go down to the local library, Jenny, and look it up down there? Because I'm sure they have archives on there, don't they, Eric?
I would hope. It's a tourist attraction. I would hope that they would have documentation on just about everything. I mean, as a condo, a year and a half, that makes me think cursed object, depending on how old the condo is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, well, she goes, well, I asked C presents were they murdered? And I said, yes. And I said, was it in the room with the door shut? And whatever OBJ means.
Object.
Then I asked what it is in the room with the light blink, and you shut the door. Was that the room you were murdered in there? And it said yes.
Yeah, then there would be a police report.
Yeah, definitely. And they said yes, like she said. She asked the presence to blink her lights once if it was murdered, and one I did once. But I said, if you weren't murdered, was it in that room for the labeling? And it said yes. I, like Eric said, Jenny, go down to the police station, go down to the archives, go to a library, and look at all this. I mean, are there other condos in that section where you're in, or is it just the house itself? I don't know. But I got to take a real quick minute, Jenny, Eric. I'll be right back. I have to thank our client, our people who sponsor us. But I'm going to play a little 30-second, and then I'll come back and then talk a little bit more with Jenny. Well, I want to thank our sponsor tonight, Carnation, for sponsoring the second hour of Into the Night with Shawn Kelly. By the way, Tara could not be here tonight as she's not feeling good. Don't forget, after our show, Trish Moe is coming on with The Missing Piece. She has a very good podcast. She's very smart, very intelligent, and she always has a good show. So when you get done listening to our show, please stick around and listen to Trish. She is also on UPRN Talk Radio, 105.3 New Orleans, 107.7 Mississippi. Now back to you, Jenny. Okay, she goes, then she come back and said, oh, there's 4 floors were on the penthouse. Oh, wow. That's a huge place, don't you think? Wow. Is there anybody else down there with you, Jen? You want to come on the show, Jen? I can send you one. I'll send you a link. You got for it? That's crazy. If you don't want to come on the so, all right, send you the link. Hold on. Oh, come on. Sent you the link, Jen. Send your messenger. Hopefully, whenever she comes on, she could tell the story, like what has happened and stuff like that. So the story she was telling us there, buddy. Um, what do you think that might be going on down there at the house or at the place he's staying at?
Well, if someone's saying they were murdered, then it's vengeful spirit would be my thought.
Well, why would they have to go after Jenny's family?
They're indiscriminate. It's who's ever there or
Mm-hmm.
whoever is there. That's what the psychic said, that people have been having trouble staying there and the owners want to keep it quiet.
Now, I wonder if it's just whenever she go on, we can ask her the question if it's just on the penthouse area. You know what I mean there, sir?
Yeah.
Or is it like through the whole building? I don't know. I'm really looking forward for her to coming on so she can share the story with her. But tell us about, before Jenny gets on, tell us about your hobby that you have.
I decided to embrace middle-aged solitude and do a hobby that encompasses that. So I started customizing and modifying Hot Wheel cars.
And Hot Wheel cars, I mean, they're small. How do you tear them apart? And come on.
What most people always ask me whenever I show, at least the more recent stuff I've made, is how do you get them back in the package? They don't ask how to get them out. That I always find funny. But I've just watched YouTube videos on how to drill out the rivets, what to use to strip the paint, the best paints to use to repaint them. I buy decals. I've gotten very adept at scissors, using an X-Acto knife, and bought angled tweezers because a lot of them are very small.
Oh, okay. Jenny's here. All right.
Hey,
hello.
Shawn. Hi, Shawn. I'm outside. You can't hear me. I'm on the balcony. Can you hear me? It's kind of loud.
We can hear you. Jenny, here's Eric. Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi, Eric.
Hello.
Sorry it's so dark. I'm on the balcony of the condo.
Okay, what's going on, girl? Tell us, man.
Okay.
Inquiring minds want to know.
I kid you not what happened. We were just hanging out, talking about the condo, all the things that are going wrong. We were trying to talk to the manager to see if we could get money back, because one thing after the other, nothing works. The refrigerator, there's no light bulbs. Everything is messed up. Okay, outlets don't work. We're just going crazy talking, and I was trying to turn the lights on, and I go, I can't turn any of these lights on. It's ridiculous. None of the lights work. So there was one fan that we couldn't turn on. So I said, this place is disgusting. I can't stand it. Why are the lights not coming on? It's making me so angry. And all of a sudden the one light came on, the fan started going. I go, oh, that's great. I said, it's probably haunted or something. And all of a sudden the light blinked, the door shut to the master bedroom. The light in the master bedroom went off and on. We're like, oh my God, this is crazy. So I said, okay, because we're talking about the condo, we were so upset about it. And I go, okay, if there's a ghost here, I want you to answer some questions, just fooling around. And it was answering them. And and my ex-husband's here. And I go, he said something poked him in the middle of the night. He told me this before it ever happened, before we were talking about this presence. He goes, something poked me last night. I go, you're weirdo. You probably wanted someone to poke you. And he goes, no, seriously. So when we were talking with this entity or whatever it is, I said, okay, did you poke Mark last night? And I said, once for yes, twice for no. It blinked once. And I said, do you like him? It blinked like.
It blinked once.
Asking all these, what?
Did it blink once when you said that to?
Yes, and then I said, "Are you?" What did I say? I said, "Are you a ghost?" And it said, "Oh, I said once, for yes, twice for no." It said yes, and I said, "Did something happen to you here?" I just once for yes, twice for no, and it said yes, and I said, "Were you murdered?" And it said, "Yeah." It answered yes. And I said, was it in that room? And it said yes. And I said,
my God.
And then it got, there was like something. Yes, the twice one was, is there something wrong with this building? And I said, once, and they answered yes. And do you want us to leave? And it blinked twice. No.
Oh wow.
And it was going on for a while. And it's just not that, Shawn. I mean, I go in my room when I went to bed. This is what really freaked me out. I have my YouTube came on in my bed, and it was go to sleep, like this little go to sleep or restful sleep. Like, okay, I never put that on, and then it did it again today. It came on the same YouTube video. Missing things, clothes, can't find anything. When I first came here, I thought I can't stand it here. I have to leave. I was very emotional, cried twice, just so weird. And I said, when we found out that we thought it was haunted. My son John's in the other room talking to the real estate because we were trying to get our money back because nothing works in this place. It was dirty. We just need our money back. Okay. So he's trying to get our money back. He was trying to get us a refrigerator because the compressor, we had the fire people here because we could smell smoke.
Mm-hmm.
We thought the refrigerator was, instead of getting cold, it kept on going up in heat. So we called the fire department. Well, that was not yesterday, but the day before yesterday, we had the fire department here. And then he's on the phone with the real estate people. My ex-husband, who's witnessing all this, he went into his room, and then all of a sudden Johnny comes out. Well, before he could say anything, the real estate said that we can get a different hotel and they'll reimburse us, but we have to, it's not a hotel, it was a smaller place, it would be cramped. And Johnny goes to Mark, his dad. He goes, well, what do you think? Should we do it? And all of a sudden, the fan in that room went on, and it went on full force, going fast, really super fast. And he's like, oh my God, because should we leave? And the thing was getting upset that we were going to leave.
Wow.
It was so freaking weird. I mean, for me to want to leave. And I looked up when I went to the psychic today at the boardwalk, and I just asked her, I said, she goes, you're very spiritual. And I want to let you know that you have if there's something, a ghost or something will talk to you. So I asked her before I left, I told her what happened. And I said, there's something going on in this condo I'm at. I don't know what I think there's something going on. And it's not right. Like, lights are going off. The fans going, it's we're asking questions for something, and the lights are doing what we wanted. You know what I mean? And she goes,
right.
What condo are you staying at? And I said, we're staying at 401 Shark Fin, Ocean City, Maryland. She said, oh my gosh. She said, if I were you, I'd leave. That place is so haunted, and everybody's talking about it here. It's only been starting about a year and a half. And I said, what happened? Did somebody die in the building? And she said, we don't know what happened because the owner's keeping it quiet, but people they won't stay there. They leave. They won't stay out the full week. And I'm like,
oh my God.
I don't want to stay here. I want to leave. But it's
So
so
you guys,
hard to leave.
right, right. Is there any way that you could just leave and go somewhere?
No, it's too hard. We got there's like 9 of us here, and there's a baby, and
No
it's
one got hurt though, right?
no, just poking. People poke you. Like my ex-husband, he gets poked in the middle of the night. He's scared. He said, "Do you have an extra rosary bead?" I slept with mine. I slept with that and the brown scapula. You know those things that
Yeah, I
bounce.
got one. I got
I
one.
slept with it. You know, I've never ever experienced anything like this. I mean, this is weird.
At least nobody got hurt or it didn't deliberately try to hurt someone.
No, he's. I think he's a prankster. He was like he wanted. It was like he was enjoying answering. I keep saying he. I get a present. I get a feeling it's a guy, and he
Okay.
and it's like he was like playing with us. You know what I mean? Like he was because we were laughing, carrying on. We were laughing because we didn't
Hmm.
believe it. I go, oh my god, this is crazy. Because I don't know if he's just or he wants us to leave. But I might have missed. You know, when I asked the question, I might have got it backwards because the refrigerator broke, the faucet to turn on the faucet, all of a sudden it broke. The coffee makers don't work. The microwave is busted. The dryer is now broke. What else is going on? Now the ceiling, the waters, there's so much condensation from the air conditioner is dripping. Um, it's weird. I can't explain it. It's a weird. I would love to know what happened in this, but something happened according to to the whatever the ghosts,
Right.
whatever, something happened in the back bedroom. He said murdered. So I want to know if this is something because these you know how much it costs to stay here.
Uh-uh.
We didn't spend that much. What happened was the whole family, my sons were supposed to go. They got reservations, and then at Christmas time, the real estate agent called and said that the owner sold the property. You can choose any condo we have, and for the price that you're paying. Okay, so
Hmm.
so my son picked the most expensive one. If it's 12 people, it's $10,000 a week. They didn't pay that. So the people that own this building aren't even they're from like Saudi Arabia. You know, they're not from around here. It is huge. It has almost 2,500 square feet. It
Wow.
has a huge living room, a huge kitchen. So
You there, Jen?
but we can't find anything out. I don't know what to do. I mean, you said go to the police station, but if they're covering it up, there's not going to be a police report. But it's interesting.
What
I'd
do you
like
think,
to
Eric?
know.
I think the library, not the police station.
Go to the library.
Yeah.
What
Library,
would you
look
look
at
under?
obituaries.
I'd go
And
Look,
for the obituaries, and
but
I
how do we
really,
look up? So what if we look up an obituary? We don't know the person's name.
well, not the obituary, but the actual
The
address of a
address.
house.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
it's a
go.
condominium. There's 4 floors, and I'm going to try to look it up. Are you still there?
Yeah.
yeah,
I can't see you anymore. I don't know what happened. But the address. What is the address? It's so hard to see because I'm outside because I don't want to wake up any of the kids. Um, it is 1125. I guess that's 1125 Street. I never heard of that. 1125 Street, Ocean City, Maryland, 21842. I'd like to know what happened because it would make a good story, anyways.
Heck yeah, it would make a good story. Or another thing, what you could do, maybe there is a paranormal group down there near you that could possibility come into the place.
Oh, you're so smart, Shawn. I never thought of that because we're here till Saturday. I'm going to see if there is one and see if they ever heard anything about it.
Yeah, no, really. That would be a very smart move to do that.
Yeah, maybe I will call, see if I can find one.
Yeah.
Another thing to look into is just real estate history, because they have to disclose that, like a property search.
That's what I've been looking up. He's right. Property search. That's what I want. That's the word that I wanted to tell you. Couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, I'll just find out because it's really, I mean, I know you've been doing this, for 30 years. And I've never seen anything like this in any of your videos. I mean, it's just so, I can't believe anything like this actually happened. And it's not, everybody saw it. Everybody here, there's 9 people witnessed it.
Right.
And we have it on film. That's what it's like.
Like
crazy.
I saw it on that TikTok you had, honey. I was like, man, that's sweet. That's happening.
Well, there's one video I'm gonna have to show you that you can see the door open and you can see something moving in the door. I can't remember which one. I think it was my friend here has the video because the door open and you can see something moving.
Huh.
That's a little strange.
Well, you know what? You know what you should do now before, like for tonight or whenever, if you ever feel or see that dude, that spirit dude, starting to act up, you got to put your foot down, Jenny. You're good at doing that. And just tell them, hey, we know you're here. We want to go to sleep. Leave us alone.
Yeah, that's what we told him to do last, like when we were done. First of all, I said, you need to go to the light or something, and then it stopped. We didn't hear anything after that. But then
okay.
If there was a couple incidents that happened today, but nothing. The fan came on and light in the one room.
Well, I would continue doing what you were doing. You know what I mean?
Said, I know, but the psychic lady said one time somebody the window. She said,
"You're breaking up, hon."
Yeah.
No, Mike. Yeah, we got some heavy ties there. We got remnants of the dune. So we were going to have a bonfire tonight, but we can't do it because there's too much water.
Well, you be careful down there because they got that tropical storm coming in.
Yeah, that's what we're having right now. It's like stuff. The water, the tide is all the way up to the dune.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's pretty. Wow. It's beautiful, though. I have to say that it's a full moon too. Okay. Tomorrow's a full moon. Yeah, it's supposed to be a double moon or something. I don't know.
Super blue moon.
Super blue moon.
Yeah, it's pretty bizarre. It's beautiful.
Last time it happened was 2009.
Yeah, it's super. The lights are blinking on and off. Great. Okay, thanks. You take it easy. Bye-bye.
Bye. You talking to us?
What? Yeah, I wanted to take a picture of that real quick. Oh, I can't get off here. I'm trying to get out of here. Do you know how to leave?
That is awesome, dude.
Yeah, just fell into it.
I know. Wow, that's really cool. So get back to the story with what you do with the matchbox cars, or
and
tell. Do you have them near you so you can show them?
They're all in the other room. It was something to occupy myself while I'm working because I have a work from home desk job, and it's not always busy. So something to be creative, keep myself occupied. I'm sure a lot of viewers are familiar with the Dukes of Hazzard General Lee car. I've actually made a few of those, but I've also made the General Grant and the General Weed, which is a marijuana flag and 420 for the number. And then I recently got decals to make a Dollar General.
Oh, wow.
So it's 00 and has the Dollar General flag on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a fun hobby. It's one of those things where I grew up watching NASCAR, and a lot of the drivers that I liked from the 80s and 90s, not all their cars were made into a toy. So I can order decals and just make my own.
Okay.
So it's what every inventor does.
Mm-hmm.
You want something that doesn't exist, so you make it.
Well, I have seen some of them. Like you sent me pictures, and I'm like, they are so cool. I like especially Ecto One, man. That was the Ghostbuster car.
I have about 15 different ones.
Really? That's like awesome. I wish I had the patience to do stuff like that, dude. Honest to goodness. What other good things got going on in your life here, brother?
Uh, Penguin season's going to be starting soon. The Steelers actually look like they might be good.
Yeah, I was
So,
impressed. I was impressed.
uh, I I'm really excited to see what Eric Carlson can do with Pittsburgh.
Did he not used to play for the Washington Capitals at one time?
Nope. Ottawa Senators.
That's right. That's right. Because he was when they played him in the playoff game at one time, he was a pain in their butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was at the game where he got his tendon cut by Matt Cook.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I didn't I didn't know of him. He'd only been in the league a few years, and I'm watching the game, and I'm like, wow, there's this guy in Ottawa is just controlling the entire game every time he's out there on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
And then that happened maybe 5 minutes later, and yeah, so I'm
Still,
excited to have him in Pittsburgh.
yeah, hockey's in. Pittsburgh Steelers are going on. Pirates not bad for a bunch of youngins that are on the team. So, but I want to thank you for being on the show tonight, my friend.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
And if anybody wants to get an investigation from you, how can they get a hold of you?
Just the Facebook page, Phantom Hounds Paranormal.
Let me type that in. Okay, the last question. I like to ask this to all the paranormal. Okay, Phatom. Right? How you spell Phantom?
Phantom.
Okay, there we go. Phantom Hounds. That's right.
Yeah, we're celebrated 10 years this year, and I made everyone in the group custom Phantom Hounds Paranormal cars.
Oh, really?
I
That's
must not
cool.
have sent you that picture.
No, not that one. No,
Okay,
not at
yeah.
all. Yeah, send me a picture, brother. And I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to let you go off of this, okay? If a newbie wanted to come up to you and ask you that they wanted to go ghost hunting, what advice would you give them?
Forget anything you've seen in the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
That's my first time investigating. I had no idea what I was doing. I was running around trying to be like the guys on TV. Just don't. You'll look foolish to people that have done it, and you'll not get anywhere near as good evidence because you're there for 8 hours. Those people go there for days to get enough to fill an hour TV show.
Mm-hmm. And do
So,
you recommend them, to find a good group and not actually participate in the investigation, but just to sit back and keep their mouth shut and watch?
no, I would never want someone that's completely isolated from everyone, because it is a group activity.
Right.
I do like to have different viewpoints. That's one of the nice things about the group I'm in, is we have differing viewpoints on everything, and we will argue and bicker back and forth like an old married couple.
Right.
But at the end of the day, our goal is still the same, and we still get along.
Awesome. Do you have any hunts coming up?
Just doing a live feed. I'm trying to find a place to do something between now and the end of the year. I'm invited to the Homestead Library for their annual investigation. I have to see if I can get the time off work.
How about, have you ever thought about going to Prospect Place? That's the one in Trimway, Ohio.
Okay. I always get it confused with Pennhurst.
Right.
I don't know why. I'd like to do that one. That's definitely on our list. I'd like to go back to Old Licking County Jail. I was just told about Bell Nursing Home in Templeton, Ohio, a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what was the other one? I've heard good things about the Ross House in Bel Air, Ohio. So it's one that we're thinking about.
Dude, go down. I was there.
Ross House?
Yeah, I was there with Mike, with Mike and his wife, Mike Anthony and his wife, and also Drake. He invited us to come down.
Okay.
Because he was doing an investigation for them down there. It's pretty decently haunted, the Ross House. Have you ever been to the Bel Air House?
Only once.
Only once. What was your feelings on that?
There's something there, but I couldn't quite get a bead on what I thought it was.
Okay. Did you get a lot of good activity?
I would say about average.
We got a good video on that. Me, Russ, Dan, a bunch of us were down there one night and we're sitting around the round circle, the table.
Yeah.
Right. And so there was a hurricane lamp, a candle there.
Yeah.
So what happened was Russ was filming and he said, I forget the name of the guy, the head ghost down there, said, if you're here, can you blow out that candle? And now this is all on video, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Russ said, if you're here, can you blow out that candle but not burn yourself? Honest to God, Eric, you could tell someone blew it out. It went, I have to send it to you. It went gone.
Nice.
Oh man, that was sweet. That was a good investigation. But what about the Bel Air House for me, excuse me. Whenever we went down there, we actually did 2 nights down there. And the one time we went down there, and it was crazy as hell. We were down there Friday night, and it was a good investigation. Everybody was happy. Everybody was getting, good stuff, evidence on their video cameras and on their pictures and stuff like that. And so the next day, we wake up and you know how you just hang out and do things, right? And
yeah.
So come about 3:00 in the afternoon on Saturday, and this is true. I mean, on my father's grave when I tell you this, okay? About 3:00 in the afternoon, all of a sudden you can feel the change of energy happening with the house. Okay. It started to get dark. It started to get real evil. Okay. And it got really, really nasty. Okay. No one got hurt, right?
Yeah.
But you could just tell that it was a very hardcore investigation where instead of like Friday nights when it went smoothly, Saturday nights was terrible, 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 terrible. You could just feel the anger, especially down there in the cellar. Honest to God, it was crazy. Um, so it was definitely the Bel Air house is pretty extremely haunted. Okay, especially down in the cellar. But the Ross house, on the other hand, it's a nice place to go do an investigation. I think that you would enjoy yourself when you go down there. The person who runs it down there, she's a very sweet lady. Um, and you will not be disappointed by going down there.
Well, I will share that with the guys.
Please do.
We have
Please
a
do.
unique power structure.
Hmm.
There's 4 leads. If one of the leads proposes an idea, the other 3 vote on it, and it's a majority.
Okay.
That's how we do things.
It hasn't broken yet, right? So it still works, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I don't know. I remember back in 2006 when I started the paranormal group, everybody had to go by TAPS. There was a TAPS family member um, deal. Um, and I did not want to be a TAPS family member, my group. All right. So at the time, I was shunned from the paranormal field. Everybody hated me. A, because I didn't go by ghost hunters. Hey, Shawn. Hey, Shawn, good to see you. If you want a good video guy, Shawn's good. Um, but all I know is that since I believed in orbs, okay, and I did not become a TAPS family member, in their group,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really caught hell, dude. You know what I mean? I mean, they treated Pittsburgh Paranormal Society like shit. I mean, they're saying bad stuff about it. It was terrible, terrible, man. But which brings me up to another question I want to ask you. You can hang on for 10 more minutes, can't you?
I got nothing.
All right, cool. Um, when I was there, when I first started in 2006, dude, there was a ton of egos. Okay, everybody had to get the best picture, the best video, the best EVP. They had to get it. Okay, and whenever a group would any group get a good EVP, we'll say, right? Then they present it to the other groups, say, hey, look what I got, on this EVP. And they would just treat that group like they were a piece of crap, dude. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then they would go out and then they would try to get a better. And to me, it's not worth it. That was my biggest complaint about the Pittsburgh, about the paranormal teams here in Pittsburgh. Okay, it was all out to be number one. It was all about to be who's gonna, let TAPS kiss their butts. You know what I mean? And I didn't believe in that. I believed that we all work together because we are all going through, for the same purpose, is to get evidence to, see a little bit more about the paranormal, what's going on, why are spirits here, why aren't spirits here? Are they haunting us or are they just passing through? Shawn agrees. And there's no need for it. And that would really piss me off. Now, you've been out there investigating. I know you haven't been doing too much out there lately, but do you still get the feeling that there is still some egotistical groups out there that are treating other people pretty bad?
I haven't seen it, but I wouldn't doubt it.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it and I've heard about it. I've done shows on it. I've been guest on other co-hosts, other shows about, and we talked about it, right? and they're very good shows that I was on. Because it was the guy who ran the podcast. He was all about, sticking up for the guy who always got crapped on, in the paranormal. You know what I mean? In the groups that got crapped on, and and it's a good thing. I hope he's listening. I'm not sure if he is or not, but it was a good thing. And I just like to put my 2 cents in, saying, you know what, everybody should just freaking work together. You know what I mean? I got evidence better than your evidence, or I got a better who gives a damn? Who gives a damn about what you got? All it is about is to get the information. That's it. Plus,
Yeah.
going out till like start investigating at 10 o'clock and get done at 6 in the morning. You know, sitting in a room with all the lights out, not knowing if you're talking to somebody or not. I think that's like really crazy. Um, but for me, I'd never believed in doing all nighters, man. Um, to me, the witching hour was not from midnight to 3. To me, the witching hour was 10 p.m. till about 1:30 in the morning. That was the witching hour for me. That's where we got all kinds of. That's where we got all kinds of evidence. Okay, and see, to me, if you do a long one, now I'm not knocking any other group. I mean, if it's standard for everybody to do an 8-hour deal on investigating, the more power to you. You know what I mean? I cannot judge you. I cannot, if it works, it works. But I'm speaking on my behalf here. To me, I couldn't do all night because I really believe that the spirits just had enough of you, you know? And they're like, okay, we gave you this, we gave you that 3 or 4 hours ago. Why are you still here? Get the hell out. You know what I mean? We want to sleep. I believe ghosts sleep. I really believe ghosts sleep. But no,
Or
I
they rest in some form.
the only way I'm going to find out, dude, is when I die. I'll see how I can rest. You know what I mean? I can always remember what was the movie built on Centralia, the house,
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill, where the little girl is dead. She goes into her home. They open the door, and then she goes and lays in her bed, and you can actually see the imprint of her, laying on her bed. That was a pretty cool movie. But no, to me, I think the spirits only give you a certain amount of leeway, and then they're probably going to say, you know what, it's time to go. It's time to go.
Some spirits could be night owls. And I
Yeah,
also
that's.
I think it's the energy you put out.
Mhm.
Like, I'm sure the people listening can figure out that I'm a bit of a character. So
Yeah.
when we're investigating and I'm being me, it's a very lighthearted, fun atmosphere. We don't take it too seriously. As an example, using my fancy EMF at Moundsville, we were getting EMF hits, and I was trying to figure out if it was my phone setting it off, but it wasn't. And then just to be me, because I'm me, I
Mhm.
pointed it at my balls, and my balls registered at 2.1 milligauss.
Oh my god.
So that became a bit of a running joke during the rest of that time there. Because, the one girl's like, yours is 2.1. I go, yeah, why are you holding out for someone that's balls is 2.3?
Shawn just posted. I went last Saturday and filmed the Green Man's Tunnel.
In South
Huh.
Park.
In South Park, probably. Yeah. I don't know if there's any other ones or not.
I
But
think there's,
actually, isn't that the other one? You got there's two tunnels there. The one on the left is considered the Green Man's, and the other one on the right next to it is considered the Corvette tunnel. I
I've
think.
never been, I've never been to either. I just know that they, the Green Man himself is from Beaver Falls.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
He's buried in a cemetery outside Popple.
Is he up there in Grove?
No,
No?
that's New Brighton.
Dude, you got to go to that cemetery, bro.
You got to invite me again.
Oh, no, you got to do your own. Maybe I'll call you up sometime in late September, early October when it's not humid and stuff like that, and we'll take a walk up.
Bring the camping TV.
This weather's killing me. But dude, thank you for being on. We'll keep in contact, and like everybody, if you want to get a hold of Eric, go to Phantom Hounds Paranormal on Facebook. And on that note, sir, you have a good night, and thank you for being on, bud.
You're welcome. You do the same.
All right, bye. So that was the show tonight. I had my dear friend Eric on there, and yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I thought what was really cool was when Jenny came on and she was sharing her experiences that she was having down at her place in Ocean City. I'm glad everybody. I hope everyone had a good time. It was good to see everybody in the chat room. Shawn, we need to talk. We got some stuff to work out, buddy. But all I know is that, like I told you at the beginning of the show, okay, 2:30 in the morning, last week, there were 4 cops out on my street, okay, and I did get a little nervous, sir. I did get a little nervous. I'm thinking, why are you on my street at 2:30 in the morning? And I remember I had that rant on from next week, so I'm thinking, from last week, and I'm thinking, I don't know. Am I gonna make it a thing for me to stop? Are they trying to scare me? I don't know. But I will tell you this, I will continue talking and I will express because of the First Amendment. But we had such a good paranormal show tonight, I'm not even going to get into it. The only thing I want to say to that is, just get ready. Get ready and, please protect the children. That's all I can say. Just please protect the children. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming on and listening to the show all over the place, all over the world. I will be on next Tuesday. Hopefully Tara's feeling a little better, so she will be able to, come and join me. Please, if you have some extra prayers, give them to her. And if you see somebody struggling out there, please sit down and talk to them, or just go and sit with them. And, thank you, Sebastian. So good to see you, buddy. So good to see you. But please, you see someone struggling, just sit and talk to them, or sit down and you don't even have to talk. Just make them aware that you are there. Okay? And if they need any help, please feel free. Please help them. Okay? Children, if you can, and let me say that, repeat that, if you want to, please go to your mom and dad and give them a hug and tell them that you love them, okay? And mom and dad, please go to your children and give them a hug and tell them that you love them, because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. It don't hurt to say, I love you. If you do not have anybody, find somebody to tell them that you love them. Maybe they might not respond back to you, but you made that, you made that choice to go and, pay for it. But I love you all. I do pray for everybody. I really do. And I just hope you have a wonderful week. And I will definitely see you next Tuesday. And on that note, let me get ready here. On that note, good night, Gracie. Happy hunting, everybody. And here we go.